Hello, everyone, and welcome to the post-match show with me, Sab, a part of the Clean Bold podcast, where we take you over everything that has happened today in the Men's T20 World Cup. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video, give us a subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already, and check on all the other videos. We've had post-match shows now across most of the days of this World Cup, but also longer episodes with me and, of course, our co-host Kieran, where we've discussed everything that's happened so far. Lots of cool content coming your way, guys, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and also check us out on Instagram on Clean Bold Podcasts. Right, 2 games today. We've had one for the last few days in the Super 8 stage, but 2 today. Big double header with with seismic consequences for this group in terms of semi-final prospects. We had South Africa versus West Indies in the first game, and then India versus Zimbabwe later on in the day. So we'll start with the first game, South Africa West Indies, and this is basically the battle of the brute force batting lineups. Both teams have been smashing it quite literally with the bat. West Indies against Zimbabwe in their last game scored 254 in their 20 overs and absolutely steamrolled to a 100-run win. So really something had to give. Both teams came in with an unbeaten record. So one team was sadly going to lose that unbeaten record, and one team, the winner, would have gone through to the semi-final, and that team was South Africa. They came through with a dominant win, a really, really dominant win, a scarily dominant win, might I add, against the West Indies, who've looked imperious themselves. So South Africa put them away with ease today. So really laying down another mark. I mean, they laid a pretty serious one on Sunday when they defeated India, when they crushed India on the weekend, and they've done it again against another team that were looking to win the competition in the West Indies. So I think South Africa have cemented themselves as favourites to win this competition. They've now qualified for the semi-final, so they're just 2 games away from finally winning it. Anyway, in this game, the West Indies batted first, and they scored 176 for 8. Pretty decent score, but I don't think that tells the full picture. Because at one stage they were 80 for 7. And it was a very strange game because West Indies were bludgeoning it all around the place, but they kept losing wickets at the same time. So after 4 overs, the run rate was well over 10, but West Indies were 4 down. So really, really strange innings from the West Indies. I mean, they started like a house on fire, smashing it to all parts of the park. And I think I was getting worried because obviously this had big implications for the India game. So I was sitting and watching, oh my God, West Indies are going to score 300 here and South Africa are going to lose, aren't they? And India are going to be out. So that's how I was feeling after about 5-6 overs. But then the wickets just started to tumble. 4 down, 5 down, 6 down, 7 down. So it really looks like West Indies were going to crumble to a very, very meagre total. But then a big partnership at the end between Romario Shepherd and Jason Holder. They put on a big partnership. So from 83 for 7, they went to 172 for 8. So these two put on a big partnership. In fact, they weren't even bowled out. So from 83 for 7 to get to 176 for 8 in their 20 overs was a serious effort and a very competitive total when you think about where they were. So kudos to them. It shows how deep their batting lineup actually is. So India need to be wary of that when they face. But obviously, we're not going to talk about that right now. So yeah, 176 West Indies posted. South Africa, no problem. Not any issue at all. They chased us down in the 17th over with just 1 wicket down. And even then, when they did lose that wicket, they were sort of well ahead of the game anyway. Yeah, this was a ruthless performance from South Africa. Aiden Markram, the captain, probably the man of the match. He scored 82 not out of 46 balls, a strike rate of 178. Quinton de Kock had been quite a tournament for him, but he sort of come into form with 47 of 24. And Ryan Rickleton finished on 45 not out of 28 balls. So yeah, a thoroughly dominant, ruthless, clinical, whatever word you want to use, South Africa, or all of those words in their performance today. West Indies just had no answer. And you think how good West Indies have been this entire tournament? They didn't know what to do. They had no answer with the ball. And I was very nervous, thinking that, maybe West Indies are going to pick up an early wicket. Even when South Africa played India on the weekend, they were 20 odd for 3. and ended up getting 108 and nearly 190. So they have a deep batting lineup as well. Again, the likes of David Miller, Brevis and Janssen and all these guys who normally feature, they didn't even need to bat today. So they got a nice little rest. And they'll be looking ahead to the semi-finals because they're now qualified for. West Indies, though, a strange one because it showed their resilience and it showed their 2020 hitting prowess, that they were able to recover so well from 80 for 7 to post 178, but with the ball they just had no answer. So something to think about for the next game that they play in, which is against India. And speaking of India, they then had a massive boost then when they came into the game against Zimbabwe, because they knew if West Indies had won, that would have probably all but eliminated, in fact, that would have eliminated India from the competition. So they had a big boost ahead of their game against Zimbabwe, knowing that South Africa had won and won comfortably, knowing now that the run rate, which India is so far behind, doesn't even matter anymore, because it's just they need 2 wins and that's enough to qualify for the semis. So could they get past Zimbabwe? Well, they made 2 changes before they started. Rinku Singh was taken out. He's obviously had some family problems, so we wish him well. Although he was available to play, they took him out of the team. I don't think he's trained that much, but they put Sanju Samson back into the team, much to the delight of that Chennai crowd. And they brought Akshar Patel. Obviously, that selection, or sorry, non-selection against South Africa was a lot of controversy, a lot of issue with that Akshar Patel, who's the vice captain of the team, was dropped for the South Africa game, and a lot of people are citing that as one of the reasons that India didn't play well. So yeah, 2 big changes there. Akshar Patel replacing Washington Sundar, so that means that they opened with they opened with Sanju Samson and Abhishek Sharma, and then had Ishan Kishan coming in at number 3. So yeah, Zimbabwe won the toss and they bowled first, but India, they knew they needed to get off the fly, and Sanju Samson, to his credit, who's not had a good time of late, certainly for India, but he really came out all guns blazing, got India off to a lightning quick start. I think he only scored about 25 off 10 balls, 15 balls, but that impetus that he gave India set them a real platform then to go on and get a huge total, which they did. They ended up on a mammoth total of 256 for 4. So that actually eclipses the total that the West Indies got when they last played Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe's bowlers might need to rethink a few things, because they've shipped 500 runs in 40 overs, which is not good. But yeah, it was a dominant performance with India with the bat. Sanju Samson, 24 of 15. Abhishek Sharma finally hitting some form, 55 of 30 balls. Ishan Kishan, 38 of 24. Surya Kumar Yadav, 33 of 13. Hardik Pandya, again, finally hitting some form, 50 of 23 balls. Tilak Varma, 44 of 16. So all the batters contributing to a mammoth 256 for 4 in their 20 overs. So yeah, look, I mean, with a score like that, and Zimbabwe's team is just not set up for big chases like that. So I think the mood and the impetus and the energy all just dropped a little bit when India came out to bowl, because Zimbabwe, to be fair, they were never really in it. They were never really going to chase us down, but they gave a very good account of themselves with the bat. They finished on 184 for 6. So, there's something to be proud of, and they should be very proud of their efforts. I'm not saying that to be patronizing. They generally should be very proud of their efforts in this World Cup. They've beaten Sri Lanka, they've beaten Australia, so they made it to the Super 8s. But again, look, this is where all the big teams are going to be playing. So they've just been, found out against much better teams. Standout performer, though, for them, Brian Bennett, with a sensational 97 of 59. Really feel for him that he couldn't get a century in the end. But he really counter-attacked India well and showed a good account of his skills. So he'll be one to watch for the future. But in the end, they were 72 runs short. So India's total was so big that Zimbabwe were just never going to chase it down. So it was a really chance for them just to kind of go out, hit, feel free, and showcase what they could do. Yeah, so I think for me, it felt like India, again, this is a slightly concerning side. Okay, this is a needed win. They played well, they batted very well, but with the ball, they took their foot off the pedal, and it really felt like they were just taking a little bit easy. I get it, you've qualified, so you don't need to exert yourself too much, but this lackadaisical attitude, this kind of taking it easy because we've won the game, that if that feeds into your performance for future games, is where you'll be found out. India have a huge game. I can't stress enough how big Sunday's game against the West. It's basically a quarterfinal now. It's a straight shootout. The winner goes to the semi-final, so it's a massive game. India looked like they were cheating on the edge of the competition, out of exit. The other subcontinent teams Sri Lanka already out. Pakistan are close to the exit as well. So India are the defending champions. Are playing in the home conditions. They're fighting for their lives, and they've given themselves a lifeline today. But I felt with the ball, they were just a little bit lazy. They weren't quite on it, and they just were, that fire wasn't there. So I hope that doesn't go into their performance on Sunday. Otherwise, this West Indian batting lineup will tear them to pieces, for lack of a better term. So that was probably the one negative. Overall, I don't know how much it matters in this game. India won pretty comfortably. Net run rate didn't matter anymore. So again, India just need now to beat the West Indies. It's a straight shootout to quarterfinal. And I don't know how you guys feel about omens, but the last time the T20 World Cup was held in India was in 2016, when India played who? The West Indies in the semi-final. The West Indies knocked India out in a massive shock and actually went on to win the competition in that very famous final against England. Carlos Brathwaite, remember the name, that final. So now India and West Indies meet again 10 years later on Sunday, this time for a place in the semi-final. Who wins? Well, only time will tell, but that is going to be one hell of a match. The pressure is going to be intense. So, India have the home advantage, but, West Indies with their batting, who knows? It's too difficult to call, and I'm not going to call that right now. But yeah, really, really big day in the World T20. South Africa, though, they look like the team to beat. They are the only undefeated team left in the competition, and they are serenely through to the semi-finals. Who joins them? It'll be either India or the West Indies. Zimbabwe, they've been eliminated, but look, they should be really proud of their efforts. They've done themselves very proud. It's nice to see Zimbabwe back competing on the world cricket stage as well. And yeah, look, they've got some talented players. They've got some really, really good players in there. So let's hope that the ICC can support them and we can see more of Zimbabwe in the tournaments. They're obviously co-hosts next year in the 50-over World Cup, but we want to see them playing tests. We want to see them in more bilateral series. We want to see more of Zimbabwe because I think that's just nice. It's good. They had a good history in this sport. And they were out of it for so many years. They're finally back into it. So they need to get supported in it. So, India, give them a series in India. Come on. We know that they will. They've won a lot of hearts. They've won a lot of fans in this competition. They've just been found out against much better opposition. But the more they play, the better that they will get. All right, guys. That's been all from me from the post-match show. What are your thoughts? Who wins on Sunday? How good is South Africa? What are your thoughts on Zimbabwe? I want to hear it all. We've got the other group games coming up tomorrow, England and New Zealand. So Pakistan, they'll be biting their nails and toenails watching that game. But yeah, let us know what your thoughts are. Comment in the section below. Make sure you like the video. Give it a subscribe. Yeah, a big day and another one coming up. We'll see you then.